Hi there, guys. Welcome back to another live stream. Tonight we'll bring you the last two parts of the Cash Game Challenge here at the festival Bratislava 2023. It will be two packed sessions, 5-5 Texas, 5-5 PLO, and current leader, the Cash Game Challenge, Franke, who yesterday's stream took down over 1,200 big blinds in a 5-5 PLO game. Will it be as crazy tonight? Stay tuned. Now we start the stream, 2 hours of Texas. Small break, coming back with the PLO. Let's get rolling. Yes, let's get rolling, guys. This is Wise Guy and George joining you for another session in the booth. How are you, George?
Very well, very well. Been playing some of the out of the game tables, a little bit of 2-2 Super Dealer's Choice, 5-card triple board, Omaha, Super Stud, so some of those funky games. And yeah, been enjoying the out of table action, so good to get in the booth and see how the top pros do it. We've got a great lineup here.
Yes.
People buying in nice and deep, minimum of €1,000 buy-in. And as you can see,
because as you can see, yeah, in the introduction I just made earlier today, it was supposed to be a 5-5 game, but we have spun it up a little bit. We're gonna play a 10-10 Texas game, guys. So yeah, big stacks on the table.
Yeah, and we've got some hype in the chat already, as Doddy, who's a very famous streamer, is in the mix and has lots of his fans rooting for him. So interesting to see how he gets on.
Nice to have you all here, guys.
He's got the badge, and the badge is in the perfect place on the left-hand side. You've got to get the badge in if you're a Stone Island savant.
Exactly. Yep. Perfect. So we're already going at it, are we? Yeah.
I think we're playing a bomb pot 200 each to get things started by the looks of things. And who's got what? Doddy's flopped a set. And is that a hold? Anyone with a flush? No. It looks like Doddy's going to take that one down to kick things off here for the 10-10 stream. Set of sevens, but they don't know that yet.
No.
So we're showing one card at a time.
So each of them put in a 200 then, and it's 1,200 already in this one, and it's no more betting, so we're just going to open the cards one by one, and Doddy will be happy to see what we already know, that he will pick this down with the sevens. So surely, nice start then for all the Doddy fans. And yeah. Has he revealed the 7 yet? I think so. Wasn't too much shouting, cheering.
Nice little 4-figure payday to get things kicked off. What a way to start the stream. Who else had any equity? Manuel flopped an open-ended straight draw. He needed a 3 or an 8.
6-5.
Not to be on that occasion, as Doddy takes it down. And look at that Stone Island plush jumper. What an outfit. And what a man. Thanks for joining, everybody. Give us a share, the Festival OG, across our social channels. If you're looking to see what's going on here at the festival, so much action, we can barely contain it.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to leave you guys for a little while soon because I'm off to start another tournament, and there's been some slightly delays in the tournament schedule tonight, and hence the reason for that being we don't have any tables.
No, we're running out of tables because the main event is commanding a bumper entry list today. I think we had over 400 runners in the first flight of that. So that's going to be motoring on, and we will be bringing you live action from that over the weekend. But for now, we've got 10-10 Hold'em followed by 10-10 PLO. And a couple of well-known streamers in the mix. We've got also a couple of well-known professionals within poker playing as well. Manuel and Michel Molinar, who's the winner of the festival from last year.
Yeah, a lot of big names from this one.
Eddie Juicy Spins.
It's going to be Doddy picking down a smaller pot this time then.
Taking it down with the Ace-Queen. €130, rather modest pot for the 10-10. Don't think we're going to see pots as juicy as the 5-5 PLO, but that was completely out of control.
Yeah, yesterday's stream was mad. And be sure to watch it back if you want to see some Frankie action. And we had 2-hour session with Frankie bagging 1,200 big blinds plus
Yeah, so the great thing about our Twitch is that you can watch those back, and I saw that those got some pretty decent viewers. We were having about 100, but it looks like over 2,000 people have actually tuned into that one. Just to
rumor has spread.
Absolutely.
Or maybe Frankie has watched himself 1,800 times today already.
Potentially. Just got it on
doing the
repeat.
VPN just to gather some
got
views.
A Filipino internet farm there, just pumping up the views. So Eddie, juicy spins in the small blind, opens it up, and he's going to take that one down. No action as of yet. Juicy mods in the house, and it's great to have such an active chat.
Yeah.
I was playing some 5-5 PLO with Eddie earlier. He seems like he's definitely knows what he's doing, so he's obviously playing a lot of poker as well. Interested to see how he gets on in the Hold'em streets. But some strong players around. Alex in seat 1 is a well-known local high-stakes cash game regular. Loves to battle heads up. One of those kind of guys that's just looking for action on a heads-up table whenever you walk into the casino. Yeah, very, very confident and a very good player.
There's one of those online things where you sit at the table waiting for a heads-up.
And he's in there.
Yeah, but he's doing it live. Yeah,
yeah,
love it.
Table opener.
Yeah.
Let's go the DTV squad. Welcome, welcome everybody. It's going to be a great stream. What have we got here? Three-way limp pot. Not really anyone with much. Doddy in there with the King 10. Doesn't really flop a piece. Manuel comes up dry with the Jack Deuce, and Baz with the King 4 turning 2 pair. Let's see. Probably wants to be maybe getting a little bit of protection, but Manuel in the big blind could be lurking in there with an 8 or a 7 sometimes, checking it. So does go for the check, and Manuel catches up on the river with the Jack. Is he going to be able to extract any value out of Baz? And he goes for half pot, 15 euros. Ranges are pretty weak by this stage, so just looking to target a 7 or a 4, and Baz actually makes the lay down there with the pair. Tough to make a pair and hold him.
Yeah. And I think we might have a few more players joining this game as well. I know that a few interests on the list are actually playing that main event flight that started early today, and that's ending in about 15 minutes or so. So we might have a full table maybe in half an hour or so if they decide to join us straight from the main.
Looking at the open seats, and he'll be getting us some fresh players as it develops, but it's nothing wrong with a bit of six-handed action to kick things off.
Absolutely not.
Should be a bit quicker, should be a little bit looser in terms of the ranges that you'll see being put into play, but no need to be loose when you've got the ace-king on the button here, 30 to go.
Any takers? Dottie stays in.
Yeah, he should be in there with the 8-6. Probably mostly going to call. Could 3-bet sometimes, but don't mind just peeling here. And decent flop for both players. Doddy gets a gut shot with the backdoor flush draw, and Baz, top pair, top kicker. So should be seeing some chips go into this one. What's Doddy up to? Looks like he's leading the King 7-4, rather unconventional. Surely you'd think that the board would be slightly favouring the in-position player, who is going to have lots of hands like Ace-King, King-Queen, aces that potentially Doddy might have 3-bet pre-flop. So taking it upstairs is Baz, looking for some value. Gets some value from some straight draws, exactly like Doddy has, the 6-5s, the 6-8s, and the 5-8s. But Doddy actually just gets out the way. So going for the lead, trying to keep his opponent honest, and certainly did that, as he did face the raise and was up against it versus the ace-king, so just gets out the way.
Yeah, so time for me to go start some more tournaments in this
Thanks
house.
Thanks for joining us. You've got some media work to do, and
yes,
we will
sir.
see you later, Mr. Wise Guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brett, I think he was definitely a bit confused there. It's very, very rare you get led into on that board. Would have been interesting if Doddy could have found the flop 3-bet. That would have definitely put a cat amongst the pigeons. There's Manuel, pops it up on the button with the ace, ace-5 offsuit. And gets a call from Doddy with the Queen 3, hunting with 1 high, 1 low offsuit. Doesn't flop anything on that board. Manuel's got a pair and a backdoor flush draw. And could see this one go check, check. Does indeed. What's to be on the turn? The 6. Decent card for Manuel. Might look for some protection from his hand now. Can get value from straight draws. A worse 5x. Maybe even a pocket pair like 4s, 3s or deuces that could be in that small blind flooding range. But Dottie just with the cheeky little queen 3 there sends that one into the muck. Doing God's work, getting the badge in. Absolutely. Dressed to impress. And did win. For those of you that are tuning in now, we played a €200 6-way flip to start it. And Dottie took that one down for the 1.2k pot. Get your guesses in on what you think the biggest pot is going to be here. So we've got 10-10, stacks ranging between 1 and 2 to 3k. I would say something around 2,500 to 3k is a fair guess. But let's see. Manuel opening it up in the cutoff. And Lord Barr lurking in the big blind there with the 9-8 suited. Could be taking this one upstairs, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Makes it 120 to go. Manuel, the suited ace, in position. Not going to be going anywhere. And we're off to a flop. Manuel with the dominating situation here. So an 8-high board could pose some issues for the Dutchman, but instead flops the absolute dream. Top pair with the flush draw. Manuel just kind of with the overcard and a backdoor straight draw now, not looking great in terms of his holding. Peter says the lounge at the Bangkok Casino is pretty nice. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great venue. And there is a great reason why we're here 3 times in a row, back-to-back years. The main event gets loads of runners, lots of locals coming from Hungary, Slovakia, of course, and Austria. And it's located perfectly right in the middle of Europe, so it's easy to get to, just a couple of hours from most places. And that is well represented in the numbers that we've seen throughout the week. If you are unfamiliar with the schedule, head over to thefestival.com. So much volume to be put in here. Just playing a week, you could easily get in 3 or 4 tournaments a day. And for pros and recreationals alike, that is no mean feat. Oh, I didn't see the stony the stony bottoms on as well. Going for the double stone. Lovely stuff. Manuel in the hijack. It's been good action so far. 8-6 suited. Why not? Dottie comes along for the ride with the 10-9. Alex King-9 offsuit. Not great hand to be V-pipping there 3 ways. And Eddie Juicy Spins comes along for the ride with the offsuit connector in the blinds. And it looks like he's flopped a piece, middle pair. Manuel has the flush draw, and Dottie has some backdoor stuff going on here. Looking for a heart, a jack to make an open ender, a heart for a flush draw. He does come along for the 40. Little in position float, and Eddie with the middle pair backdoor flush draw fancies his chances. Ace on the turn, conventionally going to be a decent card for Manuel here. Potentially wanting to get some hands like pocket 6s, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, weak queen X to consider folding, and he does size up for 150. And I think that's going to get the job done here with the 8-high, and lovely stuff from Manuel there, taking it down. Good card for him, and executed nicely with a small pot there. No action for Doddy with the 2 queens, unfortunately for him. And yeah, Luke, phones at the table are allowed, but they're not allowed to watch the stream. We want to keep the informational advantage neutral for all of these players to make sure that someone can't see the showdowns and, you know, get some kind of advantage on the other players. So for us at home, and obviously commentating and watching, we can see everything that's going on, but these guys are just going to be playing as a normal cash game table would be playing, only seeing the showdowns. So Doddy limps in with the ace-4. Looks like he's not too averse from getting in the mix so far. Baz lurking in the small blind with the ace-10 suited, facing that ISO from Eddie. I think we want to be 3-betting here for the most part rather than calling, but if he does deem Doddy to be a little bit wider than standard, maybe allowing him in with some of these weaker holdings is kind of advantageous for the ace-10 suited, so that's what he's going to go with. And Eddie getting a little bit out of line there with the Jack-5 suited open on the dealer button. Does come Queen High. So who's got a piece? Doddy's got the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Baz in there with middle pair, backdoor flush draw, and it's a swing and a miss for Eddie with the Jack-5. Great card for Doddy now, turning a flush draw and a gut shot with the overcard. Let's see if he exercises some aggression here. Could be enough to take it down if he finds a big bet. He's going to fire 50. I think the price is a little bit too good for Baz to consider continuing here with his ace-10. For such a small price, Doddy could easily be betting hands like 10-9, Jack-10, King-10. Maybe just betting one heart hands as well, and does get there on the river. A really hot start for the popular streamer. Let's see if he can extract some value out of this one. Goes big, just targeting hands like the Jack of Hearts, the 9 of Hearts, and takes it down. Le Bosch, indeed. Muck the nut. Welcome, welcome, Milky Edits. Jonah McGinn, Damien Holdenby. Welcome all. Thanks for tuning in here on this Friday night action here at the festival. Starting it off with some 10-10 No Limit Hold'em, and we're going to be continuing later into the night with some 10-10 PLO 4-card action. So stay tuned for that one. But here first, we've got some 6-handed 10-10 action, and it's Eddie from Juicy Spins popping it up with the King-Queen to 30. Rags for everyone, and just going to take that one down. 20 euros in the bank. Hi, Mr. Commentator. You can call me Dragon if you want. Well, your wish is my command, sir. Jonah McDragon. We will go with. Running warm, certainly, sir. Great start for Doddy so far. Let's see if he can continue that momentum as the stream develops. So Emmanuel this time, he's got the queens. Doddy comes along for the ride with the 9-8. Going to need some fortune to surpass the overpair for Manuel. And an easy c-bet going big as well. Doddy has the gut shot, so let's see how hot he's running. 2 7s folded pre-flop. Can he find one of the 2 remaining ones? He cannot. So things getting tricky now for him. Paired board as well, so not ideal. Was looking for at least a diamond or a 7. I think Manuel will be quite happy to continue this. Plenty of worse hands that would consider calling. Hands like 8-7, hands like a 5, hands, all of the Jack X hands. You know, he's going to have lots of hands like Jack 10 offsuit even, Jack 9 suited, Jack 8 suited, flush draws. So Manuel going for the second barrel and taking it down. Dragon D's nuts. Nicely played. I did go for the Mook Dragon, so I didn't quite walk into that one fully, but I see what you've done there, sir.
That's a good start. I'm famous for something else, not playing poker. Winning flips. Winning flips. What you famous for? What am I famous? To be honest, that's pretty good. Very good at winning poker.
So action folds over to Manuel, and he's been getting in the thick of it, and another great candidate to pop things up here. Goes to 30. Dottie. He's just been coming along for the ride pretty much every hand, and he's got the Queen 9 off. And it's Molinar in the big blind, lurking once again with the 3-bet candidate. Ace Queen suited, going to be taking this one upstairs. Don't think Manuel's going to be going anywhere. And let's see if Dottie fancies his chances. Completely dominated with the Queen 9, but, you know, could make a straight, could hit a 9. Manuel already showing a little bit of frustration at this dynamic that's already occurring here. Dottie does wisely get out the way. And it's heads up between the two pros. King, deuce, deuce. Great board for Molinar here. I do have to bow my head when I've been finessed, Jonah, so I can take it. I doff thy hat. So what's Molinar going to go for? He's going to go for 65. Manuel with no backdoor really, and just the overcard. Ace 10 of hearts, would you call the flop, he says. Ooh. Not when I have the 2 king squire. But taking it down with the c-bet there. Playing peanuts with, ooh. Manuel going for a little bit of fighting talk there. Reg on reg. Psychological warfare emerging here. We love to see it. Anything to get a little extra edge. Molinar taking it in great strides though. Dottie's never seen a hand worth folding. Can't disagree with that one for sure. Limping in with the 3 deuce. There's creative, and then there's this. Love to see it. And does flop a piece. That's an open ender for Dottie. Couldn't agree more, Brett. Absolutely. They get put into so many weird situations, right? Unconventional lines, unconventional sizings, unconventional hand selections. It is very entertaining to see how these guys kind of figure things out on the fly. And yeah, Dottie limping in with the 3 deuce, flops some equity and just going to check it down, relinquishing any kind of chance to win the pot there with the nut low, essentially. And Eddie is going to take that one down. No faith from Milk Truck, expecting that stack to dwindle down. He's only a couple of flops away from stacking everyone. Got to stay positive for sure. Manuel going for the straddle. Let's get the game going, he says. Nice try, Jonah. If that's a setup, this time I'm going to to not walk into it, I think. What could Jon Snow be the setup for? Go on, do tell me. I'm interested. Go Eddie, says Devil Corp 79. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the first time chat. And do feel free to give us a follow if you're interested on any of the other shenanigans that are going to be occurring over the weekend. We've got some great action coming. Not only the cash game streams today, but we've also got the festival main event is going to be documented in full over the weekend. As soon as we get around the money bubble, we will be live streaming all of the action from the feature table, playing to a winner from Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, I watched the first episode and it was some sort of weird incest going, and I'm not really into the fantasy or that kind of stuff, so it wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest. It kind of threw me a little bit. Molinar goes for the open. Ah, Schweder with some German. Is he saying that Eddie plays best in the retro gear or something like that? Not entirely sure. My German is rather rusty. And Manuel, flop-a-dop-a-doodle-doo, flops the straight out of the big blind. And this could be a really interesting situation developing here, as he's going to go for the lead. And Molinar lurking with the nut flush draw. So a spade on the turn could see some fireworks. I don't think this is a board that you're going to see Molinar raise that often. Yeah, he does just come in for the call. Floating in position, a lot of equity. 9 on the turn, not a great card for Manuel, of course, because the 4-liner is out there and it's going to be a little bit less easy to extract value from hands like overpairs. Yeah, all the kind of like the 1-pair portion. So he goes for this kind of middling sizing, saying that he still wants to bet hands like 2-pair, 4-3, maybe even some hands like ace-9. And it's a 4 on the river, so Manuel's nut 8 still the best of it, of course, with the straight. Yeah, it threw me a little bit. I was like, maybe I'll stick with something else. I'm more into psychological thrillers and that kind of thing. Anything with the main character that has a kind of a dark and deep, maybe a sordid mind. So I guess there are some themes there that cross over, but not my cup of tea. So welcome all of you, 122 great numbers. Give us a shout out if you're enjoying the stream. Plenty more where that came from. We're going to be live for about another 4 hours. 2 hours, we're about half an hour into the 2-hour stream for the Hold'em 1010. And we're going to be continuing later on with some 1010 PLO 4. I love watching the Dottie stream then. Psychological thriller, that. I'll bear that one in mind. Eddie from Juicy Spins in the cutoff with the King 4 suited. Going to be enough hand to open, you'd imagine, and does to 30 euros. Manuel out the way, and Dottie, of course, coming along for the ride in the big blind. Are you playing the main event tomorrow, Peter, or is that something else that you're talking about? So Dottie defends the 8-7, flops the bottom end of a gut shot, needs a 10, and Eddie has the overcard with the backdoor flush draw. and does turn a diamond, so a little bit of extra equity for Eddie to potentially consider the second barrel, looking to get folds from hands like ace high, maybe even a hand like king 10 if he goes big enough. Some of the lower pocket pairs, of course, as well. And he goes for 75, so just north of half pot, and gets the job done there. Denies some of the equity that Doddy had. Was good on a non-diamond 8, 7 or 10. I believe from the accent, Eddie is from Germany. Emmanuel also from Germany, as you can tell. Eddie is seat 3. Need a translator for Doddy's very own linguistic abilities by the sounds of it. And Eddie is popping it up again. Back-to-back opens with the Queen 9 suited this time. Manuel takes his chances on the button, trying to farm a deuce. Doddy's in there with the 5-3, so we could see some interesting boards here. A deuce 4 board could get some action. Manuel with the set and Doddy with the open ender. Alex in the big blind fancies his chances with the 9-8, so 4 ways to the flop here. And what have we got? Looks like a 7 and an 8, I believe. Just waiting for the graphics to catch up. Yep, 7, 8, 6. So Eddie has the open ender with a flush draw. Alex, top pair with the open ender. Doddy has the bottom end of the open ender. And Manuel, it's a swing and miss from him. So 3-way connectivity here. Doddy's got a piece, Alex has got a piece. He's going to lead for 35 into a pot of 120. And Eddie is going to take this one upstairs. Looking to drive in some money there against potentially worse flush draws, maybe get some folds. Does block the straight, which is handy, blocking 9-5 and 10-9. And Alex should surely be continuing here, but just in which fashion? Mulling that one over right now. And he does actually fold. Doesn't fancy it. Thinks that this imposition raise on such a connected board, which favors him in some ways, is going to be a lot of strength, and just gets out the way there with the 9-8. Baz, powerhouse hand here, 6-handed, king-queen suited. And he pops it up to 50, is that? Huge sizing. Manuel's going to come along for the ride with the pocket 4s, and Doddy's also got pocket 4s, so none left in the deck for these two. Trying to hunt a set. It's going to be pandemonium if they do hit it, as we're going to need a new deck. Eddie deciding not to squeeze there with the ace-jack suited from the straddle. Interesting decision. 2 cold callers. Definitely would be taking this one upstairs myself, but doesn't potentially want to be getting it in from Baz. Might be a little bit wary that he's going to have a strong hand. And look at this for a flop. Top pair for Eddie, and Baz has the nut flush draw and checks it 4 ways. Manuel and Doddy. Oh wow, Doddy's the one that's going to start firing. And the timing is just a little bit off, as he's going to run into 2 pretty strong holdings here. Eddie not going anywhere with his top pair, and he does have the backdoor flush draw to boot as well. And Baz has the nut flush draw. Is he just going to jam it in? That's exactly what he's going to do. Running the equity, potentially maneuvering some people off of equity, and looks like Doddy's actually flicked it in with the fours, and this might be an interesting one, as Eddie might even fold now. Is he going to get away from the top pair here and allow Doddy to have a fighting chance of actually winning this pot? If he can fade a king, a queen, or a spade. Doddy's playing blind, apparently. Oh my word. Can we confirm that? I didn't see whether. I thought he'd looked at his cards. This is absolute chaos developing here. What's Eddie going to do with the top pair here? He's got a check jam from Baz, who can have all sorts of better holdings, like ace-king, ace-queen. Does have the spade draw this time, but Eddie's in, and it looks like Doddy is trying to find a way to bargain this pot from not getting any bigger. Oh, he is blind. So I think because the reason that Doddy is honest that he is blind. Oh, there's a spade for Baz. Great card for him. Huge equity advantage now. Needs to fade an ace, a 6. And no fours left in the deck as Manuel folded 2 of those. So 0% for Doddy, unfortunately. And Eddie has just piled the rest in. And Doddy's going to call it off with the flush draw. Could win the side pot on a spade. Ace on the river for Eddie. Taking it down. Oh, my word. This hand and this board just was absolutely disastrous. Doddy ends up almost playing the board just with the 4 high. And Eddie from Juicy spins, finds a lucky ace on the river. Did have the best of it on the flop, but had all sorts of outs to dodge for Baz having the flush draw with the backdoor straight draw. So a chaotic hand there, as the winner changed on every street, and Doddy just caught in the midst of the hellfire with his pocket 4s, holding on for dear life, and unfortunately not being rewarded for the side pot with the spade on the river was his only chance. As Eddie from Lucky Spins, apparently the owner of Lucky Spins that we had the information in the chat. And Jonah indeed saying, you fuck around, you find out. That came up trumps. Unfortunately, Eddie there couldn't get away from those 4s. Just praying both of his opponents were on some sort of draw, and unfortunately wasn't to be. So Emmanuel, who's been active, gets back in the thick of it with the Queen 10 suited. Doddy comes along for the ride once again, Jack 7. Alex going to come along for the call in position, trying to hit a 6, and everyone else gets out the way. So 3 ways to the flop here. Manuel, you can see, has the equity advantage, but he's got a rather unpredictable player out of position in the form of Doddy. And look at this, could be some fireworks here. Alex, bottom set. Manuel has flopped a gutty. So a king on the turn could get interesting. And Doddy with middle pair, he's going to stab and try and work out where he's at. Alex floating in position. Manuel just gets out the way with the gut shot. Does he get punished by the king on the turn? No, it's quads for Alex. Oh my word, it's a disaster for Doddy here. As he might think that his 2 pair could be good here, but is not, of course. The check mark with Alex. Quads in position, 210 in there. Surely we've got to be starting to drive some money into this pot. You know that Doddy can be flatting all sorts of offsuit ace-x hands. Could even continue with the jack as he's holding. So what's the sizing here? Does he go over 150? He goes for 135. Seems pretty reasonable, and a snap fold from Doddy, who correctly deduced that he was likely to be up against an ace or better, and was dead to quads. So it's not going to be the death by quads for Doddy. Manages to find a way out of there, and Alex picks up a small / medium-sized pot.
Doing good, thank you. How about yourself?
So for those of you that didn't hear that, Doddy promising to be blind all in, and he's going to go and rebuy. Looks like he's had enough. Certainly not scared. Yeah, it's a little bit packed on the left-hand side of the table, that's for sure. And Manuel and Doddy going blind all in. Manuel giving some action here with the 10-3. Doddy's got 5-3. He's dominated. Looks like a blind all in for Manuel versus Doddy. One card up. There's the 10. There's the 5. Oh, no, he's in rough shape. Deuce in the window as well. That takes away some of the straight potential for Doddy. And it is a ace, queen, jack. Could be some chops sometimes. No, the 8 on the turn needs a 3, and it's 10 high for Manuel. Takes that one down. And it's going to be a reload for the fearless streamer, Doddy. Pulling up some more cash. So back underway. Looks like Doddy's just going to take a little breath. Little breather outside. And gear himself up for what looks to be another bullet that's going to be coming thick and fast. Wow, he does certainly bring some action to the table. Molinar opening up with the ace-king, not getting any defense. Having a little joke with Manuel saying, come on, where's the action? We've been 3-betting each other. It's been pretty hairy between those two. Giving him a little ushka look across the table. But it's nice to see a higher stakes game that's got so much action, because often here at the festival we've had plenty of opportunities to get the bigger games running. And they can often be saturated with lots of pros, lots of, not much table talk, not much fun. But this one certainly delivered so far. Eddie popping it up with the 5-3 suited. Is Baz going to 3-bet the button here with the ace-deuce, or just call? He does call. Manuel and Alex out the way. And it comes 10 high. Both players, well, Eddie's got the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and Baz has flopped bottom pair with the backdoor flush draw, so he's surely going to be coming along for at least one, and does peel in position. Yeah, the good old break to reevaluate before he comes back and does some more in. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And Eddie improving to the 5 on the turn. bad news for Baz as Eddie now takes the advantage, 92%, heading towards a river card. Baz not electing to turn his deuce into some kind of bluff. Oh, it's 7 on the river, so the board pairs. Is Eddie going to be able to find a value bet here, or is he going to be too wary of hands like pocket 6s or a weak 10? And he does go for the 40, targeting hands like pocket 3s, pocket 4s, a deuce, ace high, and he's going to get paid off. Nice value bet there from Eddie, picking up a medium-sized pot there with the fearless 5. So Eddie showing some nice post-flop awareness there, getting a favourable run out for his hand. Easy spot to miss with the 5 there versus the what was considered to be a pretty weak range, checking back the turn from his opponent, and goes for the thin value and gets paid. That's what we like to see. So 10, 10, 20 in this hand as we are playing currently 5-handed action. Dotty with the fresh 2K reload, as you can see there, fanned across his vacant seat at the moment. As it's Baz with the 9-5, doesn't fancy his chances. Manuel gets out the way with the Queen Dewey. And it's Alex in the small blind with the 9-7. Could see him open this one up, something around 70, 75, yep. So he makes it 75 to go, and Molinar there, just under 1K, so playing about 45 big blinds effective. Going to be taking this one upstairs for sure, and the plan would be to 3-bet call, I imagine. He makes it 200. What's Eddie got there in the straddle? Looks interested. Kings! Holy moly! He's up to 4.7K after some fortuitous action coming his way. Won a 3-way all-in with Ace-Jack versus the King-Queen suited, and Doddy caught in the midst of the crossfire with the 4s earlier on, and now he's going to be pumping this one upstairs. That's a huge 4-bet in position. Makes it 700 to go, and Molinar surely not going to be going anywhere with the Ace-Queen suited here. Such a big sizing. He is relatively short. And it's Ace-Queen versus Kings, off to a flop. 1.8K in there. Who's going to take this one down? Queen in the window. Ooh, not the best board for Molinar, as he improves to 2-pair, but he's up against a straight. Needs an ace or a queen. Not to be on this one. Eddie with the nut straight, taking that one home. And a hot start for Mr. Juicy Spins there. Eddie in seat 3, winning another all-in confrontation. This time with the Cowboys, the 2 kings getting the job done, turning a straight versus the 2-pair of Molinar.
Znamená.
Surprised we saw such a big 3-bet there from Eddie in position in the straddle. Didn't really give any room for Alex to do anything or consider some kind of move. Late position, wide ranges. I'd have gone a little bit smaller, something like 425, which could have left the door open for Alex to find some maniac jams. But might have considered that Molinar's 3-betting off of a short stack there with the straddle dynamic. Just wanting to get it in versus him. And what have we got here? Limp pot. 2 rather non-premium holdings here. I think Alex has gone for the 20 Mississippi button by the looks of things. Flop goes check, check, and a limp pop. And it checks down to the river, and Doddy rivers the underfull here. Oh no, we got some graphics wrong there, but anyway, Doddy does have the 10, so he's got that one locked. Looking to extract some value now, goes for the overbet. And Eddie just playing the board, not interested in handing 50 euros over. And Doddy's going to take that one down with a little wry smile.
I did last time, but it was too small. It was too fat for the merch.
Doddy with the ace-jack. Manuel's limped in, and he's called the raise, so he's getting a little bit frisky here with the queen-4 off, hoping to flop something versus Doddy, who we know is full of surprises. Manuel's got an overcard with a backdoor straight draw. Doddy has flopped top pair, and snap checks it back and improves to trips on the turn. So maybe the fortune favoring the brave now, turning in Doddy's favor as he turns another strong hand. And that will get the job done. Appreciate the feedback, Joe Demi. Yeah, it would be nice to see the sort of full frontal camera of the dealer and the shuffling of the cards, but we are kind of packed into the corner of the room here. There's so many outer tables running cash games and tournaments that space will be the issue with that one. Right now we've got 13 outer cash game tables running, PLO 5, 10, 10. Super Dealer's Choice across 2 tables. Some lower stakes PLO as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 No Limit Hold'em 1-3 tables. Yeah, we do have a 30-minute delay. Lucky JJ. Is that Mr. Hazan joining us in the chat? Bocky85, Mrs. Jackie, thanks very much for joining. Appreciate the emotes. Doddy with the 7-4 is going to get out the way. Eddie, once again, coming up with a pretty decent hand. Thanks for joining, JJ. Appreciate it, mate. Hope you're doing well today. Plenty of action, I'm sure, for you to be jumping into. And while we've got a bit of downtime, let's head over to the Festival Live blog, which is run by Jason Glatzer throughout the week. Doing some great work there, keeping us updated in all things the festival and the Hendon Mob Championship resuming right now with Daniel Smith from the UK, the current chip leader. My co-commentator, Jacob Dideriksen Nielsen, is in the mix with the short stack, so hoping he can spin that one up, and they are playing for a 9.1k top prize. All of the information on the festival blog you can find over at thefestival.com. There is €125 PLO/PLO8 running. And Frankie's flip-flops, of course. The flips with the winner of the most flips going to be getting themselves a package for the next festival, or a festival of their choice in 2024. And day 1F currently running. That's the last chance to play a flight for the main event. You can still buy into tomorrow's day 2 for at least one level, I believe. But if you're in town and fancying a pop at the 550 main event, get yourself in the room and head upstairs for the main event action. Going to be showcasing that across the weekend. What have we got here? Dottie with the jack on the 4-liner, not looking for the value, and Eddie with the 9 on the river has some showdown, but the jack 4 will take that one home. €370 pot heading over for Dottie. Maybe building a little bit of momentum here as the stream continues into the night. Good day in the main event. 5K to 256K. Wow, what a spin, JJ. Very well played, sir. That's a monster stack, isn't it? Have you bagged and tagged then? $30,000 chips was the starting stack, so that's a hell of a run. Very nicely played, sir. Johan Esbach, Park C, 2610. On the spring water, absolutely. Apple juice only allowed at the feature table. So rag hands to the blinds, and Dottie's in there with the King 8. Alex is going to check back his option. He's got 7-4 off, fair enough. 7 in the window, but also an 8, so pairs for both players. Dottie with the King 8, and he's not messing around. 2.5x pot, and Alex just going to relinquish that middle pair with the bottom end of the gutter. Doesn't fancy coming along, and was correct to, as Dottie had the dominating top pair.
This is what I hate the most in Vegas. If we go there, it's so cold inside, and you go outside. If you see me running around here, like with a heavy hoodie inside my bag and a scarf and everything, and then you go outside. I mean, I wasn't there for years, but
No, it's insane. I've been many years, like in summer, but
yeah, I was 4 times there, but last time I think was 2018. 30, 6 plus.
Table talk about Vegas right now, about how cold it is inside the casino and how hot it is outside. And whilst that develops, Manuel is in there with a 3-bet with the King 9. Dottie comes in for the cold call with also King 9. And it's Eddie with the Queen Jack closing the action. He flops 2 overs with a backdoor flush draw. Manuel has the front door flush draw. And Dottie once again caught in the crossfire with no real hand. And he is going to make a discipline lay down there. Eddie gets out the way and Manuel takes that one down. Nice little €470 pot coming in his direction.
just because it's cold. Oh, yeah. Just because it's cold. Well, no, that's cool.
Top 10 stack for JJ. Great stuff, mate. For those of you who don't know, JJ does the commentary for the Banco Casino, where we are showcasing the festival series across the week. This is the 3rd consecutive year we've been back, and the cash games and the tournament entries just continue to boom here in Slovakia. Great flop for Eddie. Double gut shot to the nuts. Molinar has a swing and a miss, and Dottie comes up shy with the 5 high. Surprised Eddie didn't go for the raise pre-flop there versus 2 limps.
why I was flipping one over without looking, because the pocket was fucking jealous. This is how I play them.
20 straddle back on from Manuel. It's been giving some great action so far, which is good to see. And I think that that's a good approach in general when you are playing with some recreational players who are giving action non-stop to kind of even the playing field a little bit and make it more enjoyable. Alex opens it up in the cutoff with the pocket queens. Baz looks like he's interested, coming along for a call in the big blind. And Manuel looks like he was a bit reluctant to flick it in, and that's why he's got 8-3 suited, so he's going to need a lot of help. Baz looking for a 4, and Alex looking to fade the other two guys. Ooh, there's a 4 on the flop for Baz, so he's 810 euros deep, 5 stacks, 5 stack to pot ratio with Alex, and I imagine Alex with the overpair and the backdoor spades. He's checked back the flop? Wow, wasn't expecting that. Manuel now lurking there with an 8 blocker, so he blocks some straights, the 8 and the 3. The 3 blocking 6-3, the 8 blocking 6-8. So he's going to fire out 100 into 160. Alex, after his rather defensive flop action, is going to have to call one here, having such a disguised hand. And now it's over to Baz, who's sat there after the double check, lurking with the set. But kind of an interesting board where Manuel can have all of the straights and does also going to lead with 2 pair, hands like 9-7, 7-5, 9-5 suited. So I think we do want to be taking this one upstairs. Manuel, he had his hands caught in the cookie jar there, and Alex now is in a rather miserable spot, as it's difficult to consider that someone's going to be going for the double check raise bluff 3 ways, and those queens now starting to shrivel up in value, as we are joined, unfortunately, by Jacob, who is, by the sounds of it, out of the Hendon mob.
George, I don't think you fully understand how much I enjoy your company. Maybe I'm just blinding out. I am unfortunately out of the tournament. It was a short-lived affair. Played 3 hands, got to go all in 2 of them, and won 1 of them, but not the one where I was called. So that was it. I came in with 6 blinds, so I didn't really expect anything, so not too disappointed. And what do we have here? We have my main man Dottie in the 2-4-6 seed. We have Michel in 2nd seed. I saw he was short stacking earlier. Pretty sick thing to do in this lineup, if you ask me. And we have Eddie in seed 3, who is also a casino streamer. And the rest, I'm gonna need some help here, George.
Yeah, leave that one to me. We've got Robert from Sweden joining the table now. And I really like the way this guy plays. He's always buys in deep. He's not afraid to get in the mix.
Oh yeah, we've commented on him before. Yeah. He's an absolute legend, right?
He played in the 2-2 stream earlier in the week and was really blasting it about. I don't think he's mostly playing 2-2. So
no.
It was kind of like the I'll do this one for the image.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think we commentated him in Malta.
Yeah, we did.
If I'm not mistaken.
And I played with him in Malta as well. I was playing some 5-5-10 PLO 5 with him, and he's both a strong player. He's like a watered-down version of Franke, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Where he has the same awareness of the game, but he's not just like giving it away with the 90% BPIP. He's more like 50.
Yeah.
But, you know, if there's a spot post-flop, he doesn't really miss it that often.
All right.
So we're going to see him get in the mix. Hopefully I haven't given him too much of a introduction there, and he comes in and just waits for aces. But I don't think we're going to see that.
See Dottie here with 3-bet against Michel, who takes a bit of an interesting line by calling it off here, but gets rewarded with the King 9-5, old diamonds flop middle pair and
in position. Yeah, Molinar's been flopping extremely well in 3-bet pots. He 3-bet 9-8 suited in clubs versus Manuel's ace 10 or something, and it came 9-high 2 clubs. So he's getting the decent distribution in these kind of spots.
Yeah, so from knowing him a little bit personally, and of course seeing him play on stream, I would say one of his biggest strengths as a player is definitely sun running. So
he'll be happy to hear that. And Dottie goes for the big bet on the flop, follows it up with a smallish bet and waves the white flag on the river.
Ain't happy about that.
No. Kind of airballing there into a pretty dangerous board, and Molinar with the pair and the flush draw not going to be going anywhere. If Doddy had have really pumped the turn, I think he might have got him to fold. But,
Yeah.
Not for that price, that's for sure.
So who's winning in this game? Eddie has a big stack, I see.
Yeah, Eddie's been the crusher for the first hour or so. He got it in with Ace Jack versus Doddy's fours, and Baz had King Queen of spades on an Ace High 2 spade board. Ace 6-3, 6 on the turn of spades, and the ace on the river. So he's up to well over 5k, as he won another all-in after that, and hasn't really lost any significant pots. So he's sat, you can see those mountains. One stack of greens is worth 2k, so he's got 2 of those plus a little bit, and those stacks of yellows are 25 euro chips, and they are over the stacks of greens. So I'd say he's got about 6.5, maybe even 7k lurking in his stack over there.
Awesome to see these guys coming in here. They just arrived today. I know the streamer guys just coming in, being willing to come on stream in front of their usual audience, play big, play deep, and just give everyone a good time.
Absolutely.
So greatly appreciated.
And they've delivered in that promise, that's for sure. We've had a lot of great action so far, and we're joined by yet another action player. Interesting to see how Robert adjusts to this one. I knew him as an Omaha player, and he seemed very adamant that he wanted. I was having a little chat with him earlier. He seemed adamant that he wanted to play Hold'em, so potentially Hold'em's his game.
All right.
And here we go, straight in there with the Jack 8 off, facing the early position open from Molinar. El Rube, welcome, welcome. So 4 ways to the flop here, and it's a big piece for Robert as he's flopped middle pair with the flush draw. Molinar top pair. Doddy's got 2 overcards with a backdoor straight draw and a front door queen high flush draw, and Baz with middle pair. So everyone's got a piece. Look at this for a flop. We could see some action here.
I cannot believe my own eyes. Molinar flopping a top pair. Shocker.
35%. Doddy actually with the equity advantage because he's got that live king, can hit a club, can hit a running jack ace or jack 9. So it's going to be, what's it going to be for Molinar here with that top pair on a rather precarious looking 3 flush board? He's going to come along for a call. Probably going to peel one off, try and improve to a queen or a 10. And it's a jack on the turn. Look at this. 2 pair for Robert. Open-ender flush draw for Doddy. And Molinar has a gut shot with his pair of 10s.
What a hand.
Doddy's shoved it in.
Wow.
And he's not going to be getting a fold from Robert, that's for sure. So look at this. Doddy is all in for 3.5x pot on the turn with the combo draw. Robert surely is going to be beating him in the pot here. Although it's tough, right? You don't see people jam the turn for 3.5x pot that often.
Honestly, this is not the easiest decision in the universe to call it off, is it?
Not the easiest.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
if
he knows Doddy.
Yeah, exactly. He's new to the table as well, and maybe he doesn't have as good as an idea of we do. We've been seeing all of the whole cards, and we know that Doddy's capable of just about anything.
Yeah, he got in for 4k in the last hand in Malta with like Jack 9 off or something. Like we know he's a blaster and likes to get in there, but if you don't know him, like this is a scary 3x pot jam.
Yeah, Robert hasn't seen the blind all-ins. Robert didn't see that Doddy left the table and said, right, I'm going to grab another 2k and probably going to be all in first hand. And so this is perplexing. Does Robert think that this is the kind of guy that's just going to jam a straight here or a flush, you know? And
the risk reward is, of course, completely off for Doddy here, but it's very cool to see him put Robert in this spot.
Yeah. Fearless 3-way donk lead 3.5x jam. That is not something you see very often, and that's why it's such a pleasure to commentate on this kind of game. A couple of people in the chat were alluding earlier on how fun it is to see the dynamic between the stronger poker players and then the recreationals. And this is exactly what we're talking about.
It's that kind of tables turn situation where the bully becomes the bullied, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Robert just can't believe what he's seeing. He's like, what on earth has this guy got? Does he always have a hand like Queen 9 here? Does he have 9-7? Does he have Jack 10? Does he have a flush?
He's counting out some chips.
Is Robert going to fold?
Yeah, I think so. He doesn't look like...
Wow, he gets it through.
Wow.
Doddy, Doddy, Doddy.
Big ups to Duddy for that one.
What a play.
That's wild.
That is the only size Robert would have considered folding to.
Yeah.
And Doddy finds it.
That is definitely content.
Big balls. And a pressure player, that's for sure. As the chat goes wild.
Yeah, that's absolutely class. It's
Love to see it.
And again, Duddy, he's here. He knows that his community likes to see him attempt these things, and he likes to give a show, and it's just so cool to see that.
He's giving more than a show, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the action that he's giving is unprecedented. Good move. Libosh.
Yeah. Good to see all the Duddy fans in the chat.
Absolutely. And if you're just tuning in, where have you been for the last hour? We've had a great 10-10 No Limit Hold'em stream. And Robert just sat down there thinking, right, I'll buy in nice and deep, play some cards, and just get shoved on like the first hand. That was absolutely bananas.
Awesome to see everyone representing here. If you are out there in the chat, do not be a lurker. Tell us who you are rooting for in this game. It's awesome to hear from all of you. It makes it a lot more fun for us being in here, doesn't it?
Yeah, so to give a bit of background on Doddy for the guys that aren't aware that are tuning in for just the poker, what's his deal?
Yeah, so Duddy is a British casino streamer. He does casino streaming over on Kick on his channel. That is kick.tv/. Can I do this on Twitch?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I promote a Kick stream on Twitch?
By
Yeah, I'll
radio.
do it. I don't
Not
care.
in the chat, maybe.
No. So he streams over on. Yeah. I'm following him, but I don't think I'm... Duddy the Viking. So kick.com or TV.
Kick.tv/Doddy the Viking.
Yep.
If you're interested in seeing more of him, he's certainly going to
He is
put on a good show over there, I imagine.
super high energetic guy. Always has a lot of fun with the casino streaming.
What's he playing? €100 spin or something?
He's a blaster. He
Yeah.
likes to get in there, and but his community is really tight and mostly built around his personality and not as much the gambling. Like it is like a family in there, and yeah, he's just a super sweet guy. He has this big guy Viking look, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just he's the sweetest guy on the planet. So absolutely delightful to be in
and
company with.
turns the nut straight here.
Oh,
after
go
barreling
on
the
then,
flop.
Duddy.
And Molinar, he's got definitely enough of a hand to come along for the ride. He's got a pair and a gut shot.
Super sweet guy. What am I hearing? Is not Hatsi actually Hatsi? If it is, then hello, my man. Hope you're doing well. And why are you not here?
Yeah, where are you, Hadzi? Doddy goes for the third barrel here. 50, 150, 250. And
Oh.
Molinar just can't help but pay him off after seeing the random ace-jack that turned up in the last pot. But this time, he's up against the goods. And Doddy is up to 2.4k now. Nice little resurrection there from the death.
We have Team Duddy in the chat. Go, Eddie. Hatsi in the chat. Good to see you, man.
He's
Where
on the
is...
sofa, so he's here.
Oh, he is here.
Yep, by the looks of it.
No, he means at home, right?
No, I think on the sofa in the casino, no?
I haven't seen him.
All right, because there's some sofas between the two, the cash game and the tournament area, so I thought that's what he might have meant, but...
If I said to you I'm on the sofa watching,
Yeah,
wouldn't you assume that I was at home?
if you were asking if you were here and you said that, then I would think that you were here, but watching on the sofa. So
This is a
maybe-
very interesting conversation, George. Let's. All right, let us know if you're here, Hatsi. It would be great to say hi, of course. He's at home. He's a bum.
All right, you win that bet.
Yeah, let's go. Juicy Spins, another Eddie fan here in the chat.
So Eddie is the founder or managing director or owner or something of Juicy Spins, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. He's a German streamer.
Okay.
Also a guy I know a little bit from down in Malta. Really,
Yep.
really good guy, and he's been doing it for quite a lot of years, and is the owner of Juicy Spins, as said.
Right.
Really, really good casino streamer. Kinda has a bit of a different energy than Duddy, I would say, but also
more
is
relaxed and
yeah,
chilled.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm getting
but
that vibe.
also that whole family kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like extremely dedicated. I wouldn't say fans, but followers and community. So
Sure.
I would definitely watch him some more if I didn't skip too many German classes in school.
It's all in German, right?
Eddie macht es. I don't even know what that means.
Neither do I, actually. Very rusty on the German, as Alex takes that one down with the overcard backdoor flush draw and gets Dotty to fold 2 live cards.
I'm a bum. Come on, Hatsi, man. Well, we'll have to get you on next time we have the festival in Malta then.
Can't miss that one, that's for sure. Festival in Malta always delivers. Loads of action there, and just lots of people within the gaming world that meet up under the same roof. It's a great place to be.
Hatsi couldn't make it, he's cleaning his cars. Yeah, tough life, isn't it? We can teach you German, no problem. Alright. I would love some free German classes.
Yeah, a little bit of German wouldn't go amiss.
No, you never know when...
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Ja, mein Name ist Jakob und ich bin aus Dänemark.
Ah,
Ja.
danke.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön. Eddie makes the shit world great again this evening.
No, I don't mind a bit of morbidness in the chat. Certainly, we can take some of that as well. Danish guy with the laughing face.
Sehr gut. Danke,
Frankie is
danke.
going, I'm not going. That's usually the opposite of what most people say. Yeah. The infectious laugh, the action.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wants to miss that?
Hatsi has too much money if he doesn't want to play with Frankie, that's for sure. Great laydown from Alex with the ace-jack against the ace-queen. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I haven't paid attention
Maybe
the last
we
5
glossed
minutes.
over that one.
Go,
Yeah,
Eddie,
but
let's go.
Alex has played a solid game so far. He's got away from a couple of spots. He actually managed to find a check back with queens on like a low disconnected board where one of his opponents would have flopped a set and he could have been in trouble facing a check raise.
Alright, do we know who he is?
Alex is the local high stakes reg.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Frankie, free cash. Yeah, you're very right about that, Hatsi.
If you've got the balls to collect it.
If you
though.
play with him, you have another Lamborghini in your collection.
We did see some people that kind of got caught in the crossfire. Sasha actually was complaining he thought that the game should have been capped pre-flop because it was getting out of control.
Jesus
I know.
Christ!
And that's the only
Did
thing
he say that?
That's the only thing that people say when they've been absolutely felted for 2
Yeah,
hours straight,
exactly.
right? If he'd have won 5k, no chance he's saying, let's cap it pre-flop next time, guys.
Who is your favorite? Well, I don't think we're supposed to have favorites in here, are we?
Well, I'm rooting for Manuel because he's a very close friend of mine, and also Molinar as well.
I'm rooting for Daddy then. He's the guy on the table I know the best, and yeah, he's an absolute blaster, so he makes for good entertainment.
Exactly, he's an easy guy to root for in
Yeah.
this lineup, that's for sure.
I would root for Molinar, but he's too rich, man. But Daddy is too. But
He just gets the lot. You can
yeah,
actually have a little look on his Hendon mob because that is, if you have not seen the Hendon mob of Michel Molinar from the Netherlands.
yeah, he just cashed for 200k the other week.
Makes for some really impressive reading. This is a breakout player on the European poker scene. He won the Irish Poker Festival Millions just earlier, well, actually last month now, as it's the 1st of December, but on the 1st of November, so 1 month ago, he won the Irish Poker Festival Millions for 210k. He got second in the high roller in Malta in September for 50k.
He got 5th in the high roll today.
He got
4th.
fifth in the high roller last night. He won the super high roller at the PokerStars Summer Festival in Malta for 54k. He won the 550 freeze out in PokerStars Live in Belgium for 25k. And what's the other big cash? Oh, there, of course. He won the festival in Bratislava in 2022, last year.
He is the defending the festival in Bratislava champion.
And he does have a big stack going for day 2, so plenty of things going in his favour right now. In the year of the Molinar, can he close it off in style? Hasn't been running that great on the stream. He's had a couple of decent flops in 3-bet spots, but yeah, got a little bit done over there by Duddy with the Jack 10.
Yeah, it's good to see Daddy coming in with the 3-bet here.
Yeah.
Against Manuel.
Completely dead,
peels.
unfortunately, on the
Yeah.
turn. Manuel goes for the second check, looking to get his opponent to at least chase up or improve to something. And
Daddy,
now,
don't do it, Daddy.
is he
Don't
gonna
do
call it off with
it.
the king
Don't
high?
do
Look
it.
at those chips.
He wants to. He really wants to.
He makes the call with the king high.
Nice try,
Oh
mate.
my days. Wise Guy is in the background doing some of his media/presenting duties.
Yeah, you're gonna be stuck with me. I'm sorry about that.
And Doddy is an award winner too.
He
Best
is.
content
I
and
was
most-
actually at the
Wow.
Streamers Awards a couple of weeks ago.
That's in Malta, was it?
Yeah, it
Nice.
was, and I saw Doddy and Hatsi win some trophies.
Excellent.
Even Hatsi's brother won a trophy, so
They're really giving him away then.
it was a great evening and awesome to see these guys get rewarded for the hard work and the dedication.
Wise Guys fill-in sounds even better. There you go, Jacob.
Go on,
He's just
go
bust
on,
the
man.
Hendon mob, so he needed a nice
Yeah.
little stroke.
I appreciate that, Oysters. That's really nice of you.
Yeah, we appreciate the love and the good vibes in the chat. As you can imagine, with Doddy having such a strong fan base, we have appreciated you guys tuning in, and we've still got a little bit more action left to come in this Hold'em stream. 40 hands we've seen so far. And Eddie from Juicy Spins surely popping it up with the ace-10 on the straddle. And wow, look at this. Robert's got the kings.
Wow.
But what's going on? He's called? Oh, he's gone for the little
I like it.
trappy. Baz comes along for the ride. Is one of these guys behind lurking going to get suckered in?
Yeah, we had
Thinking
Doddy
there's
in the
some-
straddle who we know likes
some
to get
dead
in there,
money
right?
out there, I'm just all in. Doesn't fall for it.
Go, Eddie, go.
Do we have any main event updates? Yeah, we do. If you head over to thefestival.com, Jason Glatz are doing some great work giving us all of the updates there. And shortly, I imagine we're going to get the snacks from the first of 2 flights today. We
Yep.
do have some info in the chat that Lucky JJ, Mr. Hazan,
Yeah,
he
he.
managed to get a huge stack.
Yeah,
today.
I met him and asked him, "Did you bag?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was decent."
Yeah, I bagged.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever someone says it was decent, it was more than decent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, lovely bit of false modesty from JJ there, of course.
Is this only streamed on Twitch? Good question.
Yes, we're doing mostly Twitch, and you can. The great thing about Twitch is that there's the VODs, so you can go back and watch
Yeah.
the old streams. So
I
they
thought
get.
we did YouTube too.
Sometimes there's highlights
Alright,
uploaded
alright.
to YouTube, but Twitch is the main platform for us here at the festival. You could see there the Facebook and Instagram very active and giving you updates for all the poker and non-poker activities throughout the week. We've had a pool tournament, we had a gaming tournament, there was some drinks, a dinner as well, and that's all part of the hospitality package that is available for people that have won their way here to the festival.
Those guys have it great. They were out bowling today.
Premium user says such a big fan of Jacob.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's paid advertisement, mate. I gotta be honest with you.
Okay, fair enough.
This
How
is
much did
my-
you have to give him?
One of my best mates called Jacob from back home, who's
So he's a big fan of himself. not
yeah,
you
yeah.
necessarily.
Maybe it's actually just talking about himself. Wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Who's the guy on PokerStars that has you as his avatar?
That's another friend of
Yeah, I
mine.
was gonna
Yeah,
say, because I see him on some pretty high stakes.
yeah. He won the Sunday Million with it.
Yeah,
And Scoop Sunday Million even.
yeah. Of just your mug. Tilting the shit out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's brilliant.
Send me the 50 now. 9. It's Saint Baby, Danish player. Very good player.
Right, so what have we got here? Loosey-goosey 5-way action. No one really with a massive piece. Eddie's got middle pair, and that's good for 82% right now. And Baz on the button there, working out if he wants to go for a stab with the 5s. Wouldn't recommend it, and he does check back. And that's a great card for Eddie now, as he's going
Wow.
to be a little bit more comfortable with having the best hand with that queen. And what can he extract value from? Potentially Molinar over there with the pocket 8s. Might get a bit frisky.
Yeah, Manuel having a think about it right now. I think, he has checked. Let's see if Eddie does like to go for the value
Eddie's
bet.
gone for the check as well. It's always
Fair
tough
enough.
5 ways, you know. Someone could be in there with just about anything. And
Yeah.
it does check down to the river, so a modest €150 pot, heading once again in the direction of Eddie from Juicy Spins. And he's up to 5.5k.
Das ist ein Gundam-Logo zu sehen und das aus Twitch. Oh. Yeah, guys, it's okay, don't worry about it. We got this under control. Kein Problem.
Wow, really freewheeling it there, Jacob. So alongside the 1010 that you're seeing on stream, 13 outer tables running at the moment. PLO 5 1010, PLO 5 55. We've got some 4 or 5 lower stakes PLO streams, as well as 5 1-3 no limit hold'em streams.
Exactly, Bunny. Exactly. Let's just not talk about it, okay? It's our little secret. Any PLO cash game tonight? Yes, there will most definitely be PLO cash game tonight. It will be right here on stream.
Yep, absolutely.
With Mr. George Seinfeld commentating it.
Going to be doing that.
What's the game? Who's playing?
We've got a great lineup. I don't think it's going to be as frantic as last night, but it's going to be higher stakes. So they're going to be playing 10-10, and the lineup is getting confirmed right now. We're still going to be here for at least another half an hour of the Hold'em stream. So information on the PLO will be upcoming. Stay tuned. Yeah, I got a little bit set up earlier. So Jonah comes into the chat and says, you can call me Dragon. So I was like, all right, Jonah McDragon. And he's like, drag on these nuts.
That's
Absolute
class.
kipper I was there, walking into that one.
So yeah, if you do enjoy some PLO action, definitely stay tuned. We will have that for you tonight too. Even higher, same stakes as this game, yeah?
Yep, same
And,
stakes, but you'd imagine the average pot to be a bit bigger considering it's PLO.
Yeah, most definitely, and I'm sure there's going to be some action players in there too.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. So Baz opening up with the 7s. Doddy comes along for the ride with the King 8. As has been consistent for him, not really a pre-flop folder,
No.
and is rather capable post-flop as well. Just of some random moves you saw earlier, he managed to get Robert to fold 2 pair and a flush draw on the turn, jamming it in with the combo draw and got the job done. So Doddy definitely on fire.
Hopefully he's not going to get frisky here. That would
No,
work very well,
dear,
very
oh
bad
dear.
against
If
Baz.
he rivers a king or something, it could be bad
Ooh,
news. And
Baz
Baz
does the
is gonna
double
lay
check.
the trap once again, and it's a
Oh
four on the
my
river.
god!
Holy moly! Alex with the underfull, checking again.
What? What's going on here?
It's going to go for the check raise, surely, because Baz has checked the turn. So the only hand that he's really worried about here
It's
is in
none.
the hijack. What?
What? No way.
No!
This cannot be real.
He's checked again with this full house. There's another player with a full house. It's a 210 euro pot.
And the table is just in disbelief. Look at Eddie.
It's a boat over boat, and there's 210 in the middle in a 10-10 game.
Eddie's sitting there with his ace high and saying, I might be good here.
Yeah,
and there's
exactly.
2 boats.
Throwing him in like, I got it, boys.
What the hell is going on here?
Holy shit. What the hell was going on there? Baz going for the 3rd check with 1 player behind in a 4-way pot.
That is-
expecting Doddy to bluff or something. Like, there's no way he's
That's
just
just
gonna start
ridiculous,
bluffing the
right?
river there.
Who does that?
What on earth are we watching here? Baz has absolutely dusted it. Could have had the full stack from Alex, or at least a lot of money. You know, Alex was waiting to check raise, couldn't wait to get the re-raise in there, and Baz has just somehow found a way to completely butcher it.
I cannot believe my own eyes. And neither can any of the players at the table.
Worst cash
They're in
game,
disbelief.
worst cash play I've ever seen. I really can't disagree with
No,
that, to be
it's-
honest. Checking, I mean, the turn check, fair enough.
Yeah.
Allow someone to catch up with a straight, a flush, maybe even a top pair. But the river check.
And Dotty's just had enough of it. You guys are not betting your full houses? I have 8-6 offsuit. I'm all in,
Dotty's
guys.
all in. He's running to Molinar.
Oh,
And
Molinar.
he's got 2 unders. Wow, it's so difficult to even keep track of this action. It's just
Oh,
mental.
Molinar. He's so lucky, this guy. Get
Get
me in
in
that.
that game, says premium user. Yeah. Well, there is a seat if you fancy flying over. You'd need Aladdin's carpet to get over here in time, but
Fuck's sake, Dotty. Let's see if we can get
let's see if
anything
we
here.
can find a way.
That's a
The
very bad
backdoor
flop.
hearts are no good. Can he turn? there's some
A
outs.
3
Double
or
feather.
a 7?
No.
Dotty bringing in the action, but not gonna be it here.
Someone is only there for TV time and scared money.
Oh, no.
He's talking about Baz.
Yeah,
with the
but
check.
like,
But he's not really inducing anything by checking for the 3rd time
But
in a 4-way pot, is he?
I'm just in complete disbelief over what we just saw.
Wow. And Doddy hits the rail once again. Couldn't believe the showdown there, and I think he's almost a protest, as if to say,
Yeah, exactly.
you guys
What are you guys
absolute
doing?
Scumbags.
I want to play with
I'm
this.
all in. Yeah. This is how we play poker, boys and girls, and unfortunately does get sent to the cash desk once again as Molinar, the benefactor of the rather mistimed pre-flop all in there from Doddy.
Dotty knows he can go for a smoke without blowing 2K first, right? Yeah, maybe we should tell him that. No, I don't think so, JJ, because you can see the smirk on him when it got checked through Dotty at the end. How much did you back, Mr. JJ Hassan?
Over 250.
Over 250?
Yeah.
This guy.
Molinar just doing Molinar things here at the festival.
Yeah.
On brand.
It's very much on brand.
Yeah, the year of the Molinar continues for the Dutch pro. Look at him stacking those absolutely mountains of chips, getting it in with 9s versus 8-6 off for well over 150 big blinds.
Yeah, loving life.
And Baz now has got his tail between his legs, trying to force a smile, but he's missed out on about at least 500 euros there by checking the full house on the river. Eddie coming along for the ride now. Things have quieted down a little bit. King 4 for Manuel, and a good board for him. Might be seeing him continue this one, opening from the hijack, facing a small blind check. And does not. Checks it back. And could go for the second bet. A second check or a delayed bet now. Does bet 25. Looking for a bit of equity denial with his king high, and does get the job done. So small pot heading in the direction of the German.
I have more than I good enough for me. Yeah, if only you had his...
TT...
not ability, I didn't want to say that. If only you had his luck.
Yeah, luck and ability. He's an absolute crusher in more ways than one. What's the bind for this game? 1k was the minimum, but you've seen a couple of guys buying a bit deeper. Eddie from Lucky Spins, he's having a great session so far. He's up well over 3k. Manuel's in for 2, so he's up 1.3. Alex was in for 2. He's been on the wrong end of a couple of pretty brutal spots and managed to somehow get away with the minimum both times. And Eddie now on the button, the big winner. 5.4k, and he's opening it up with the 6-4 offsuit. Robert not having any of it. Ace-3 in the small blind. And Baz comes along for the ride with the Jack-8 suited. Sorry, Juicy Spins, my bad.
That is in for 6k. Yeah, he'll be alright. I'll guarantee it.
Eddie is going to bet his bottom pair.
Is it funny or funny? I don't know if it's only in Dutch you say V as an F. Yeah. We do not have any moderators, so maybe we should just hire one right here. Comes from Ivan. Alright. See Eddie here with the
going for the second barrel, turns an open-ender, looking to put some pressure on some hands like a 5. And gets the job done. Robert just with the bottom end and the wheel gut shot there. Relinquishes that one, and it's another pot heading in the direction of the German. Living in Malta, I believe.
He does live in Malta, indeed.
So Malta is a bit of a hotbed for casino streamers, and
we definitely do have
like a live meetup kind of community as well.
Yeah, I think actually it's usually like a lot of the very big European streamers live in Malta. Not usually, they do, and it seems like they do a lot of stuff together and hang out, which is really cool to see that they are friends, even though they are professional competitors too, right? Mm-hmm. They enable each other, and
so it's not like such tough competition in terms of that they're like trying to get one over each other.
No, exactly. You could easily see in an online environment like that a very toxic community, and I'm sure that of course there will always be something, but in general it seems like it's pretty harmonic and organic, which is awesome to see. And on to the next hand here. I'll just do a quick toilet break here.
No problemo. So you can imagine the action to be slowing down somewhat as we have the empty seat of Doddy there, who certainly brought some gamble to the table. All in blind a couple of times, all in with 6-8 off, running into the 9s of Molinar, and Molinar takes down a small pot there, opening it up with the Ace-10 suited. The average pot size has absolutely nosedived ever since Doddy's unfortunate departure. So what do we got here? 3-bet pot. Eddie from Juicy Spins is going to defend with the Jack-10 offsuit out of position, pretty wide, and is dominated on this occasion. But wow, what a flop we've got here. Robert flopping top pair with a flush draw, and Eddie has the open-ender, so he won't be going anywhere versus the flop action, that's for sure. Could we see something frisky like a king or an 8 of spades on the turn? And we do see a bet and a call. And it is the offsuit 8. So bad news for Robert, who's got all kinds of equity now, turning a straight draw as well as having top pair with a flush draw, and he's going to go for a second barrel. Can't fault him for that. And he's running straight into the nuts straight from Eddie. Sat there, flattered and 3-bet out of position with the Jack-10 off. And look at this. All of a sudden, the table talk and the demeanor shifts as he's wondering, how much am I going to get out of this one? Praying his opponent's got enough of a hand to continue, and Robert certainly does with this combo draw plus top pair. And here comes the check raise from Eddie. All of a sudden, the jokes, the laughing, replaced with the stoic staring at the board as he makes it 525 to go. What's Robert going to do? They are playing super deep here. Robert's bought in for 5k. Eddie is the big winner on the table. He's up to 4.8k remaining, but also has the 76% equity in this holding. So let's see what's going to happen. Imagine Robert just calls here. I think shoving would be somewhat of a suicide play. Just running into too many hands like Jack-10, pocket 9s, pocket 8s. And he does call, and it's a 4 on the river. Not a great card for Eddie. Could be a little bit worried about a hand like pocket queens or pocket 9s improving to a boat. But for the most part, I think we've got to be going for a value bet here. Robert's going to be having hands like aces, kings, ace-queen that would consider calling. He checks. Ooh, he might have left some money on the table there as he does check over the straight to Robert on the river. 1.3k pot. I was expecting him to be going north of 1k there for value. Instead, checking. What's Robert going to do here? I think he's going to have to check back facing the turn check raise. It just looks a little bit too strong. He's got some showdown versus some of the missed draws. Potentially Eddie had a hand like King Jack or King 10 that he was turning into a bluff, and does check it back and is going to see the bad news on this occasion. Eddie from Juicy Spins turning the offsuit 8, and a really tough beat there for Robert after that flop.
Eddie's just wrecking this game.
Yeah. Went for a really really tricky check there on the river. We've seen some rather non-standard plays with nutted holdings.
Saftig. I think that means juicy and...
Oh, yeah.
Saftig. And on to the next time we go. Why would you check it straight? I don't know, why would you check a full house 3 times? A lot of saftig in the chat, I like it. Bockwurst power. Did he eat sausage before the stream? That might be his secret.
Saftig, 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 everyone's saying. We've got to check this on Google Translate just in case.
Oh, it means juicy 100%.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same word in Danish. Well done to the commentators engaging with chat and having a laugh. Appreciate that a lot, Barry.
Yeah,
it's really nice
do
of you.
Appreciate that feedback. Can be a little bit of a lonely job behind the microphone sometimes, but it is great when we've got such an active chat, and we always like to make the most of that. All of you guys tuning in, we know it's not just about the poker, right? We're here to have some fun, and that kind of embodies the festival spirit in general. So
100%.
really appreciate the great feedback.
Apologize if the background noise goes a bit into the...
Yeah, it's just hectic here at the casino right now. We're Friday night at the festival. There's about 10 different tournaments running, 15 cash tables.
Yeah, my day 2 got delayed by half an hour because there's just not more tables in this casino.
We're running at full output here. And for any of you guys that are local, do pop down if you fancy some kind of poker action. If not, plenty of side games as well.
Appreciate that a lot, Rex. It's really nice of you.
So we've got the open to 30 from Alex. 2 callers, Robert the straggler in the big blind, but does improve to top pair, and he's up against a better top pair. Eddie just can't believe what he's seeing.
Robert cannot catch a break, can he?
No, and Alex is going to be the one that bets it with the 2 overcards, the backdoor flush draw and the backdoor straight draw.
Liam Musi, I'm actually not sure if he will be coming back for another stint. In real time, the players have just concluded play, I believe, so he might be back. I'm not quite sure, as we cannot see the table directly from where we are sitting and commentating on a delay. Oh no!
It's another turn
Robert!
on the turn. Look at what is going on here.
Why are people checking good hands all the time on this live stream?
Well, they are checking out of position to the flop better.
Did Alex bet flop?
Yeah, he bet the flop.
Ah, fair enough. I'll shut up then.
Oh, okay. The 3 gives it a chop for Eddie and Robert. So at least Robert manages to find a way out of jail. That would have been brutal. Back-to-back significant pots to be running into a better hand once again from the same opponent.
Eddie going with the half pot sizing here. What do we think of that? If we are going to have just a little bit of theory talk.
Yeah, I think what he's doing is trying to target some overpairs in Alex's range, potentially hands like 9s and 8s.
Overpairs to the 3, I believe. Yeah,
maybe
the 5.
Going the smaller size could allow Robert to call with the 5 sometimes, whereas if he pots it, it's going to be very difficult for Robert to continue with anything worse than a 3.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Just looking for some value, and it gets raised and gets snap called, and they're going to be chopping this one up. Alex's money once again going in the wrong direction than his stack. He's been a bit unfortunate, Alex. He's played a good game. He's gotten away from some really big situations, either fortuitously or using skill, but not been the stream for him.
Most definitely have not. And Robert also just coming in here a bit late and just getting wrecked, so he
getting a little bit of a whipping from Eddie.
He did catch a break here. It could have been quite expensive for him if the 3 didn't pop out on the river. So good for him.
Yep, overall.
That's juicy cards indeed. Very people are making hands. Like ever since I came back here, it's just.
We've had a couple of those kind of filler pots where it goes raise, everyone folds. Fair enough, it's like they are still playing for a significant amount of money. You don't want to just be flatting 7-3 off just for the sake of it.
Pre-flop jamming 8-6 off. I was just chatting with Mullen. He was blind and announced it to the table.
Oh, that makes sense, right? So Manuel opening it up with the ace-queen, and he's facing resistance from likely 2 players here as Molinar goes for the 3-bet with the 8-7 suited. Cutoff versus under the gun. They are playing 6-handed, so obviously the ranges do get a bit wider. We want to be mixing in a couple of those suited connectors just to give our range some nice coverage on multiple different kind of runouts.
And the guy who checked the full hand 3 times finds the 4-bet with the 10s.
Yeah, not a great spot for Molinar here, as he's got 175 into a pot of around about 600, going to a low SPR, and doesn't fancy what looks to be a pretty premium holding there, as Baz shows 1 card, and we kind of know what the other one is when that
Molinar's smiling. He's like, okay, if you have a 4-bet here and you don't find a bet with the top house, then I'm out of here.
You really want your opponent to have some ace-5, ace-4 suited kind of hands, maybe like a king-9 in there to really feel comfortable seeing a flop there with just 8 high.
Does make a lot of sense indeed.
And Baz has been certainly a little bit on the tighter side.
And Alex waking up here under the gun with the ace-king off. We do have around a handful of hands left on this stream, but after that we will have a short break.
Very short break.
And then we'll be back with the PLO.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that one.
More cards, more fun.
More cards, more fun, more high-stakes action for you here from the festival on Friday night. Woohoo! The days are flying by as we delve into the weekend action. Stay tuned for all of the main event coverage that's coming across Saturday and Sunday. Looking forward to commentating that one. Going to be having potentially some of these guys in the mix. I know that Molinar's got a big stack. Maybe Lucky JJ could get onto the feature table as well. Stay tuned for that.
I think I'll be giving the main event a little go tonight. See if I can find a way out of doing the commentary with you, my friend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hopefully can't. Probably can't because...
Shots fired. And look at this. We've got another 4-bet pot back-to-back. And Baz, once again, is
wow,
the
with the cold 4.
Going for the ace-jack. So finding
the 9-8 suited again, the 3-better.
Yeah, Robert's going to be feeling a little bit sick to his stomach, but I feel like he's going to have a bit more gamble than Molinar in the last hand, as Alex is sat here with ace-king, wondering what the hell is going on here. Ace-king offsuit. He is round about 120 big blinds effective with Baz coming in for the 4-bet from the small blind.
I imagine you're just going to...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like ideal. We could see a flat, we could see a small 5-bet, or could see a jam, we could see a fold. Anything is on the table with this kind of hand, honestly.
He is out of position against the 3-better, which of course is not ideal for...
We've seen the theme of Alex taking the passive route in most spots, but he is aware of the fact that this guy has 4-bet back-to-back hands now after showing or getting a little bit embarrassed with the full house showdown.
It does come in with the call. Jack and Cola for Eddie, Safety. He deserves a Jack and Coke. He's been doing great. And Robert's probably gonna call here too.
He's gonna be turning down this price with the 9-8 suited.
It's a big pot, 700 euros in the pot before the flop is even dealt. Let's have a look at it.
Oh, and it comes 8 high for Robert. As Baz has 2 overs with a backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and the betting lead on a board that is pretty favourable for him. He's going to be the one with all of the aces and the kings. You wouldn't imagine Alex to slow play that often, and Robert's just when he doesn't raise pre, he's going to be a little bit capped. But Baz waves the white flag, a little bit wary that he's going to be up against some hands like queens and jacks in both opponents' ranges. Alex goes for the check. He wants to see a free card with his 2 overs. And now Robert there with top pair, wondering, am I going to get trapped here by Baz that often? It's such a weird board. You always expect Baz to follow up with a small bet, especially heads up, but maybe 3 ways there could be some trapping going on.
Let's see what he does elect to do. He's just having a little think about it.
He's going to bet small, I think.
Yeah. 150 by the looks of it.
Yeah, 125. So he's gone for 125 into a pot of a shade under 700. Going for just south of 20% pot. Baz now. Can't really fold.
No, you can definitely continue with 2 overs and the backdoor flush draw here.
Yeah, we've seen Alex play very balanced, and he's going to have strong hands here as well. And Baz just lets it go.
Wow.
Just doesn't fancy the 3-way confrontation there. A little bit overly worried about potentially a hand like pocket 8s. And Alex, you would imagine, has to consider continuing in some form here.
Yeah, does come in with the call.
Yeah, fair enough. But the problem is here is that Robert's going to be very aware on the turn cards that would improve Alex.
Yeah, very true.
It's going to be a little bit face up. You know, any kind of ace-king, he could potentially represent a queen, saying I've got ace-queen suited here. But Robert's going to be pretty happy to see the just call. You would imagine hands like jacks, 10s, queens to have raised the flop.
And he does go with around quarter pot here at 1.2 SPR.
Look at this turn card would have been for Baz.
Yeah.
And a gut shot, 2 overs and a flush draw.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
I imagine he would have folded a top set too.
Just in case.
You never know.
So this spot getting a little bit tricky for Alex as he does pick up a gut shot before would get in there. 2 overs as well.
Seems like he's calling out another call.
He's going to come along for the call once again. And he's going to be looking for an ace, a king, or a 4 on the river. And
at this point, Robert must also be a bit eerie as he called the 4-bet. Yeah, just going to go check on the river.
Like 10s and 9s, for example. And that's going to get the job done for Robert. Going with those 2 small stabs in position, denying some equity, getting some value from overcards, and did a really good job of manoeuvring that quite tricky post-flop situation in a 4-bet pot 3 ways.
Definitely not an easy hand to play by any stretch of the imagination, and a bit of turn of the tide for Robert, who's had a couple rough hands to start his journey here on today's stream.
Yeah, nice to see him pick up a decent-sized pot.
Just hear the players discussing the hand a little bit.
A little bit of strat talk going around. Maybe too much, I would say.
Yeah, way too much.
As Eddie now with the 10-8.
When you open 10-8 off, you don't want to hear strat talk at the table.
No,
You want to have
guys
Jack and
talking
Coke
about
and have a
being
good time.
balanced in a 4-bet pot 3 ways with the top pair coverage. Not exactly the table talk you're hoping for here, but we are playing pretty high stakes, and there are multiple pros around the table. So
Who more than anyone should know that they shouldn't talk about strategy at the table. To be fair,
that's a fair point. So a couple of hands left of the 10-10 stream.
Yeah, on to the next one here. So we see Robert with a 9-3 suited. He's gonna raise it up there. He ain't afraid of getting in there. And the 3-bet from Manuel with the 6-5 suited. Michel not gonna get in there. See the flop up ace 4-4. Not really any of the players catching much here. Backdoor straight draw for both of them. Manuel with a bit of a better one, of course, but not much going on. And I think the bet from Manuel here is going to get the job done. Very hard to see Robert being able to continue here. And I lied. He will continue. To be fair, Robert is the preflop aggressor, which means he could definitely have more aces in his range as Manuel turns the open-ended here. Seems like a great occasion for him to go for another bet here as he turns a lot more equity than his original no equity flop bet had.
Yeah, great card for him. And going to follow it up. Getting nice and loosey-goosey here with the 6-5. And Robert also matching him with the flop float. What's Robert got cooking here? Manuel goes for the big turn bet of around about pot, and Robert's just left with 9-3, no draw.
It's not an ideal situation, is it?
He is just going to let it go.
Yeah.
Going for the out of position float, a little bit of a frisky one, hoping that Manuel checked back the turn and was met with the second barrel, and Manuel has that little ushka whoosh look, as he got away with one there.
The classic ushka look.
You know it well. So as we draw things to a close here at the festival for the first of 2 10-10 streams tonight, going to give you some information on what's going on elsewhere.
Yeah, I believe
we do have the 1E chip counts, so let's read out some of these. The chip leader is Christian Kiz from Hungary, who takes through 311,000. That's good for 104 big blinds. We've got Christoforos Christoforou with the most Cypriot name I've ever heard. And JJ lurking in third there from the United Kingdom with 85 big blinds. Let's see if we've got any other notable names. Aneta Kalikova is a local tournament reg. She's got 192k for 60.
Oh, Manuel getting the aces here.
Yeah, let's get back to the action then.
Yeah, sorry. Robert calling out of the straddle. And we'll continue on the Jack 7-6. But a very, very bad turn card for him. Manuel getting the nut flush draw. He does decide to check this one back, which is really interesting. And he might be able to get a barrel out of Robert here, to be honest.
I think that's exactly the plan that Manuel was going for. The the turn card changes the texture so much that he doesn't want to like over commit himself versus hands like straights, potential two pairs, some traps in Robert's range. Robert is a rather unpredictable player that can have lots of coverage on this type of board. And
Just go for almost a full pot on the river, which I think is a bit interesting because, I don't know what I want to say here.
Well, what he's going for is that he knows that Robert's range is relatively capped now, and his range looks particularly suspect because he's checked back the turn and does get the call.
Nice.
Really well executed there with the ace of diamonds as well. Didn't really need any protection.
No, exactly.
On the turn, and manages to maneuver himself a nice pot.
Awesome play from Manuel.
Yeah. Good stuff there. Because when you bet and face a check raise on the turn from like straights, sets or flushes, for example, you're in a really tough spot. But allowing himself to peel one off there in position, getting a favourable river, and going for the jugular, nicely done there. From
Quite the cool line.
Yeah. So who else have we got in the main event?
We got Joseph Jackson at 137k, our streamer at this very channel for a lot of the online stuff.
Yeah, Peter Jesko is a strong local reg as well. He's got 190k. Who else have we got here? Any other familiar names as I'm scrolling down the list? Sami Pilainen from Finland with 36 big blinds. The unfortunately named Simon Kunz from the Netherlands with 35. And Samuel Stranak, a good friend of mine, he's got 26 blinds. And that looks to be about it, as we've got some of the stragglers at the bottom getting through one or two stacks.
Keita with 39k.
Yeah, he's got just over starting stack, probably bought in late, I guess, because he's been in the mix with so many other stuff going on here. And a couple of the guys at the bottom from Austria with 4 and 6 big blinds. So, we'll bring you some more updates on that as things come into fruition. But for now, we are back for the closing stages here.
Yeah, we had Robert Limbing here, Bas raising it up to 60 with the King 9 suited, Robert calling. Flop went check, and Buster signed the top pair here alongside a gut shot on the turn. Matty will see him coming in with a value bet here for, right around 90 euros, I believe.
Absolutely.
And I don't think Robert can do much about that. He just laid it down. See Eddie having a good time there. I think he just ordered another Jack and Coke. Enjoying life, winning money.
It's a good life for Eddie, isn't it? He's been running hot and giving some action as well. He's definitely been not shy to raise. He called a 3-bet out of position with Jack 10 offsuit. The solver lurkers in the chat have been going, this guy's such a whale, but he's in the mix, and he's the one sat there on the stream table with all the big money in front of him. So good for him.
It's awesome to see. And we will have at least one more hand here. See, we have the 25 straddle on. Let's see if Molinar decides to come in with the open here.
He can't help himself, can he? Let's get in the mix.
Has been a bit quiet since that big hand with the 9s.
Exactly, gets snap peeled by Eddie with the Queen Jack suited. Would have been usually seeing someone take that one upstairs there versus button versus cut off, quite deep. But he just peels, and we do go heads up to a flop, and it's a real swing and a miss here for Molinar. Can expect his opponent to have some decent hands on this type of board. Hands like King Jack off, King 10 off that he might be flatting.
Check on the flop, and it just gets better and better for Eddie as he turns the flush draw and the gut shot here.
Gut shot straight flush draw.
And absolutely nothing for Molinar. Keita Poker in the chat, how you doing?
How you doing, Jon?
What a nice stack you have there in the main event.
Yeah, 39k.
Yeah.
He's above starting.
Yes.
That's more than we've got.
Yeah, that's very true.
Who wants to see me punt 10k again? Me.
Oh, is Keita on the PLO stream again?
Like
that's awesome.
Bagged up for day 2 and heading over to give everyone the business on the 1010 PLO stream.
It's awesome to see these fun players getting in there on the stream. And
they get a little bit of TV time.
Yeah, wailing around. Best of luck, Keita. Hope you do a bit better today. It was a brutal one yesterday, of course.
Yeah, not the favourable outcome for him, getting Frankied, essentially. Frankied. And I'm sure that those of you that are tuning in watching the festival coverage will know exactly what I mean by that. Frankie in there with the 100 VPIP, running the show towards the end of the stream. Definitely had the cards favouring him. As Molinar opens it up with the 6s in the hijack, fair enough. And Eddie once again has a playable hand. He's just getting a lot of good cards, and he's going to pop it up this time. Makes it 80 in position. Pretty small 3-bet.
Yeah, I think I could definitely like to see it, especially playing 350 big blinds deep effective.
Make it 100 or something like that would be sort of the more conventional play, but does allow his opponent to see a flop, and once again outflops him.
Yeah.
So
top pair and the backdoor flush draw for Eddie here.
Yeah, and Molinar's got pocket pair that he's never folding here.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere just yet.
Straight drop, he's in. So probably just going to see this go bet called. Yep. Don't really want to be building a check raise with this kind of hand at this step.
Nice to see a guy like Molinar who's a professional player not taking an excessive amount of time in pots like this. Like
yeah, just flicking it in.
Yeah.
Come on then, off to a turn.
It's
always go on then. Chuck in the barrel. But Eddie is going to not exercise the option to bet.
Which is really cool. This opens up the hand a bit more.
Yeah, Molinar now thinking it over. Is my opponent going to check back hands like Jacks 10s, maybe 9x, and does go check, and he does not have the winner.
And Molinar looks like a guy who's the unluckiest in the world.
It's a pretty bad beat facing the snap check back there. You think the sixes are looking up trumps, but not to be. Eddie locking it up a little bit.
This Molinar guy can't catch a break, can he?
God, it's just been run bad after run bad.
So we are zooming in here on the Bratislava Festival.
Absolutely.
Batch on the table.
3 years in a row, and I can almost guarantee that we're going to be here again next year.
Most definitely, and this will be the conclusion of play for the Hold'em part of this stream tonight. But hang tight, we're going to have an Omar stream coming up. We had Keita, who lost 10k yesterday. He's going to be back for revenge alongside a great cast of players. So please do stay tuned, and thank you so much for checking in with us here at the Festival TV.
Yep, looking forward for the continuation of the coverage. Stay tuned for the 1010 PLO starting very shortly. We will see you very soon.
Hi guys, back again. Andreas from the Festival Series. Right now, taking our hospitality package holders for some lunch bowling behind me, but also, of course, recapping yesterday. And boy,